That was Summer Game Fest 2026. Now it's time for IGN's live post show. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Here to help me break down everything we just saw, Ryan McCaffrey, Miranda Sanchez, Aliak, and Max Scoville. What is up, everybody? We've been sitting here for quite some time now.
That's a lot of video games. Back to back to back to back.
We actually, our crack crew kept track. That was
fantastic.
It's about 50.
51 games.
51 games.
Yeah, there's a pack, there's also like Tifa and Street Fighter, not quite a game, but announcements.
Announcements, reveals. All right, we're going to show you some of our biggest trailers from the show as we recap our favorite parts of Summer Game Fest. And maybe I'm not supposed to read that. Maybe we'll just start with Miranda. What was the standout game for you? Actually, Ryan, let's start with you.
Oh, well, boy, I get first. I actually wrote down 7, and I don't even know where I want to start. So I'm actually going to go with Wolf Among Us 2, because the first one is arguably my favorite. I'm a big Telltale fan from back in the day. For me, it's between Wolf Among Us and the first season of Tales from the Borderlands. I mean, original season of Walking Dead certainly got it all started, but man, did I love The Wolf Among Us. And I knew nothing about it. I hadn't read Fables going into it. But playing The Wolf Among Us, I absolutely adored that game. And honestly, I mean, I hate to be pessimistic, but it seemed like Wolf Among Us 2 was never coming out because Telltale died and then it came back and then it kind of seemingly, I don't want to say died again, but it just hadn't heard anything forever. So the fact that it seems like, I believe it's PM Studios is the new partner in this, along with the revived Telltale, that this is actually coming out. Yeah, there we go, PM Studios. So I'm thrilled because I had pretty much given up hope that I would ever get to play this game. So if it lives anywhere close up to the standard set by the first one, it's just going to be one of my favorite games of next year.
Well, speaking of the first one, they have the Wolf Among Us remastered. I didn't catch if that's out now or if it's coming soon. I didn't catch what the release window was, but they are putting that out before.
That is this year. They said this holiday was the term, which I said on the broadcast, I want to play it again because I haven't played it since it first came out, but I'm not going to have any time this holiday. So I'll have to find time in 2027, before the sequel comes out, to run through the original again.
Yeah. Aliak, have you played The Wolf Among Us?
I have not, but I've played Telltale games before, and it's something that I really enjoyed. This would be a completely new story for me, though.
Yes. No, it's very similar to other Telltale games. It just has a very cool setting where, monsters are real and are...
Yeah, the art style is so cool in these games, too.
Yeah, it's very cool. Okay, that's Wolf Among Us 2. Miranda, what was the standout for you?
There were a lot, but I think the one that spoke to me most was 1666 Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really liked the original Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, and so this is coming from someone who worked obviously quite intimately on those, and his new game is about witches.
Yep.
So we actually got a little bit more detail after the fact of the showcase. And so this said, one of the taglines was 3 timelines, 1 mystery. So this is set in 1666, 1999, and modern day, which is very Assassin's Creed. So you're jumping around timelines a bit, but the mystery really lies, I think, as the title seems to indicate, 1666, where this witch and her cat companion are, it looked like from the trailer, going and hunting down people who've been kind of corrupted by their power, and also maybe just some not so great people hanging women accused of witchcraft. Maybe they were witches, but that doesn't mean you should hang them, So I think this one, obviously, we don't get the best feel for the game, but they have a prologue out right now that you can just go play. So I'm going to do that after this. I'm just going to go play it and see what it's about. So I think this could be something that's really cool, especially just knowing how the original Assassin's Creeds worked.
What a nice bonus, too, that this comes back after, how Jeff said, however many years it's been.
Yeah.
And it comes back with an immediately playable little 30-minute slice. Love that.
Yeah, really get to know what it is. Another thing, too, you get to play as the cats. That's fantastic.
That's really cool.
Yeah, the prologue is out now, and then it launches into early access later this year. I don't know, early access sometimes means there's a multiplayer component, but they haven't explicitly said single player either.
It seems like it is single player. We've had this weird thing lately where a lot of single player games have been launching into early access. If you think about Baldur's Gate, which does have multiplayer to it, that was early
And
access.
Slay the Spire 2 is out. Is it early access right now?
Yeah.
I'm really curious how the next Assassin's Creed stacks up to that. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's, what is it, Hex?
Hex, yeah.
Hex.
Hexe.
Yeah.
Supposedly about witches too, so that's
Yeah,
gonna be.
that's interesting. I had not made that connection.
Yeah, I
That's-
feel like it's an AC Shadows Ghost of Yote situation all over again. So
I think
Which is which?
I think there's a. Okay, pardon me.
Yes, pardon.
Let's talk witchcraft.
Okay.
Okay, so there are clear delineations between like early American witchcraft versus European, and like specifically, this is set in Amsterdam, where they have their own like kind of history and like different kinds of lore within witchcraft. So I think there's still enough to delineate there. There are obviously crossovers with just like, look at these symbols. Look, they have like their occult is like in their blood, and also cats. So you never know. The familiars for the Assassin's Creed one could be quite different. But I'm just saying, there's enough space for all the witches in the
it's
world.
probably a bird. I think it's going to be a bird.
Yeah, I mean that'd be kind of
Maybe
sick.
I'm guessing like raven or owl probably.
Yeah, I'd be down.
One of the spooky
In the
birds.
woods, yeah. I mean, I think with the Hex, they had like the sigil with the sticks, so it's like we're talking about some woodland witches here, you know? Different.
If Assassin's Creed Hex is the next AC game, there was also a game just called Hex, which,
Yep.
which we can talk about maybe in a little bit. But Aliak, what was a highlight of the show for you?
Man, I obviously was really excited to see Resident Evil Veronica, not
Yeah, no
Veronica,
code.
but the one that surprised me was Alien Isolation 2.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that game. That was a complete surprise to me, and it's one of my favorite horror games out there. It just completely, to me, changed the genre. It's the way the aliens would just. We were so unpredictable, the AI, and I'm just so excited to see the world of Alien come back into the video games and not just stay inside the ship, but it looks like we're exploring this new planet. And I'm wondering what kinds of monsters, what will we expect to see out there, and how scary it'll be? How will they make sure that we don't get used to the alien as well? What will we see in this new world? I'm so excited for this.
Max, I know you're a big Alien fan.
I'm also a huge coward, so that's yeah. I never actually finished Isolation because I'm a coward, and I'll like openly admit that. I love Alien to death, but it's also like I like being a spectator. You know, like I kind of that said, like the absolute perfection of nailing that aesthetic. I adore that. I'll probably watch a Let's Play or something. But the fact that it's on a space colony is really cool. There's been a weird separation between like Alien and Aliens lore, and like space colonies are more clearly rooted in like the Cameron side of things. So I'm excited to see how they kind of meld those.
Yeah.
It does seem like a very cool setting. I wonder if there's any connection to the films, because in Alien Isolation, which you reviewed, Ryan, you play as
Ripley.
Sigourney Weaver's character's daughter in that game, searching for her mother. So yeah, are they going to connect it in any way? I don't know. Yeah. As someone who did review Alien Isolation, I'm just curious, like, what would you be looking for in this game?
Well,
Ryan?
honestly, more variety. I mean, one of my problems, I know everybody has their opinion on this game, but and most of them differ from mine. It went on too long and it got repetitive. A lot of the second half of the game, you're mostly fighting the droids, and it's so the fact that they're already starting by showing us that we're off the ship, that we're on a surface, that's a great start. So if they can keep a little more variety in this one while maintaining the spookiness that the original nailed, I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. I really am.
So I don't know there's any indication this is going to be the case, but one way they could add some variety is getting some of those critters from Alien Earth. Like
Alien Earth, yeah.
Get the eyeball, get the bugs, the other thing. I don't know. It'd be fun enemies to have out there. Yeah.
That thing.
Whatever that's called.
The environment outside kind of reminded me of Prometheus as well. It's one of the first in the movies when we actually get out of the ship, and I absolutely love that movie too. So feeling that environment, it looked like such an immersive game. At least what we were able to see. I'm not sure if we got to see gameplay, but the cinematics of it, everything just made me want to jump back in and just be terrified.
What was the Alien movie that was the sequel to Prometheus? Max?
Alien Covenant.
Covenant? Is that what it was?
We don't have to talk about it if you don't want.
No, I just couldn't remember.
I liked Prometheus, but I don't.
Alex, did you like Prometheus?
I liked it.
Okay, well, we can sit on the same couch together next time. So.
I like Alien Covenant. I like the part where Michael Fassbender plays the flute with himself.
Yep.
It's funny. And I like Danny McBride, and it's a cool xenomorph. I'm not going to be mad at any movie that has xenomorphs in it. They're great.
Yeah, they are great. All right. Alien aside, Max, what was the highlight of the show for you?
That was really tough. There's a lot of stuff in there that I was really excited about. I want to talk about Gen Atlas, formerly known as Project Robot. This is the Fumito Ueda game. This is the Last Guardian, Shadow of the Colossus-esque game. His fingerprints are all over it, but it also is, I feel like, a very different, more sci-fi coded aesthetic than we're used to. It looks gnarly and post-apocalyptic and sort of like, I don't know, brutalist, and it's just gorgeous. Like, it's just stunning to look at. I also do not know when we're going to be playing this game because it feels like it's still quite a ways off.
Yeah.
I mean, we did see actual gameplay in that, though.
True.
That's the good news. That's a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, it's always kind of hard to glean what a game is about by seeing a bunch of disparate snippets of gameplay or gameplay-shaped footage. But the fact that this seems to be kind of a blend of, like, are you going to be controlling the robot sometimes? Is it going to be your companion? Is it going to be like a Last Guardian situation? What are the stakes? Where are you? It's just really, really cool looking, and I like a big robot. Or a big robot's head, whichever.
Yeah, the
Fly
flying head.
Yeah. This was called Gen Atlas. Miranda, did this one do anything for you?
Definitely. I really loved The Last Guardian. It was a game that just, like, it had some technical issues at the time, but the core soul of it and the gameplay of it really shined through for me. And so this is obviously, there are some similarities to that, and the fact that this is seemingly upping the scale. Obviously, it's full sci-fi. There's going to be some action elements to it. I think the story could really, I won't say make or break this game, but I think if the story is awesome, it could elevate this to like a really truly memorable game if it can deliver on some of the potential of what is a clearly defined universe here.
It looks like if Denis Villeneuve did the Iron Giant.
That's a good way to put it.
I like it when robot stuff makes me cry, which is why I'm excited about Rei Ayanami and Sonic Crossroads Racing.
What stood out to me the most about this last game was that it just really feels like if you love Dune, if you love Blade Runner, it's like the perfect game to just jump into. The environment and the music and everything that they presented, at least so far, recalled me to those movies.
Looks very cool. Let's talk about Star Wars Galactic Racer, because we just got a press release in for this that has a little bit more information. So it said at Summer Game Fest, fans caught a peek at the bitter rivalry between Galactic League champion Kester Boole and mysterious challenger Shade, discovered new location Dervin Akos, and had a first look at pod racing action beyond the Mos Espa circuit. Star Wars Galactic Racer invites elite pilots to join the Galactic League, an underground racing league born in the lawless Outer Rim, established by racing enthusiast Darius Pax. But while Pax may have founded the league, underhanded and well-connected racer Kester Boole has become its champion and will stop at nothing to maintain his grip on the title. To prove their worth in the Galactic League, pilots will engage in a series of challenges designed to test their skills. The runs-based campaign sees players carving their own path through the league. Does that sound roguelike?
Sure does.
Wow.
Yeah.
They hadn't explicitly said that before. That's interesting. Well, what do you think? Like, would you rather have bespoke courses?
I don't know. I mean, like, everything's a roguelike now.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've played a roguelike racing game before, so I'm curious to see their take on it. I mean, we were saying during the broadcast that it seems like there's definitely some story elements to this because we saw a lot of what seemed like cutscenes. So, how will it differ from run to run, and will that help keep it fresh as you want to play it over and over again? So, I remain super optimistic on this game for sure.
Miranda, how about you?
I'm excited, and I plan on crashing into the walls a lot, frankly. Like, I'm going to be so honest. I get really nervous with racing games, and I'm like a happy loser, but I love Star Wars, and I think pod racing is really neat, and I'd love to play this, but I will be crashing into the walls, and that's okay.
It says only certain perks and unlocks earned in previous attempts are carried over to the next run. Okay. Racers will start each tour from scratch with new decisions and choices to make for another chance to take down league champion Kester Boole. Max, what do you think? Roguelike.
That actually kind of makes me pump the brakes a little bit. I think it's such a cool idea on its own of just a Star Wars racing game in the year 2026, and then it's a roguelike when anything's already roguelike. I mean, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'll check it out. It's a cool idea that I'm not in love with, if that makes sense.
I wonder if they'll have different modes, because that's kind of what it feels like it would be to me. It's like the story mode is the roguelike versus maybe just, you want to go around the track, practice a bit.
That said, everything I saw, I'm in love with.
Yeah.
It's giving me a little bit of MotorStorm, I love MotorStorm. Again, obviously it's got Burnout DNA. You'll get some little power-ups in there. You get some flamethrowers on the side of your speeder, whatever's going on. But yeah, Miranda, you commented on the pre-show about how, why are we getting Star Wars games so fast all of a sudden? And that is because the exclusive contract that Lucasfilm had with EA expired in 2023. And I think from there, we were off to the races.
Well, and
here we are.
We already have mounting evidence that not renewing that agreement was a good move for us gamers, at least, because we're getting a whole bunch more Star Wars games from different developers, different strengths, different genres, and you love to see it.
It also says, in addition to discovering the part pod racing plays in the single-player story campaign, eager racers can choose to jump straight into pod racing as soon as they start playing through the arcade mode, and will get to experience unique pod racer-focused online multiplayer events.
I am not blessed with a widescreen gaming monitor for my PC, but this game seems like it would be, if you've got a big giant widescreen PC setup with a good graphics card, that this will be a treat to sit and play.
Okay, right now we've got to take a very quick break. We've got plenty more Summer Games Fest game reveals to break down in just a sec, so don't go anywhere.
IGN Summer of Gaming is presented by Evil Dead Burn, only in theaters July 10th.
Welcome back to IGN's Post Show for Summer Game Fest, which was jam-packed with game reveals and surprises. So much cool stuff to talk about. Let's start with Cuphead. There were 2 Cuphead announcements, with also a very amusing puppet presentation as well. They did a good job with that. So a full sequel to Cuphead with hand-drawn animation. Did they call it Cuphead 2?
They did not.
Okay, but it's another one.
We can.
Yeah, we can call it that, yeah. And of course, that has that very cool, that rubber hose, classic animation style. That's cool. But then they also announced something else, more of a pixel art arcade-style platformer. And is it called Mighty Cuphead Adventure?
It is. Okay. First of all, I want to note, I was pretty unpleasantly surprised by how they worded. They said, and here it is actually in the press release, that as far as what I'm going to call Cuphead 2, the hand-animated game, this ambitious project is still in its earliest stages of development. And okay, I mean, it is what it is. It'll come out when it comes out, but Cuphead was 2017.
Wow.
That's 9 years ago, and I thought they'd been working on the sequel this whole time, so not quite sure what that is about, but the good news is we are getting a Cuphead game much sooner. And yeah, Damon, I got the press release while we were on the air, and this is for you.
Okay.
Mighty Cuphead Adventure, of course, a 2D pixel art side-scrolling platformer, and they say it is actually built with the technology of the era. That's right, Mighty Cuphead Adventure is programmed in classic assembly language and designed with the exacting specifications of the Sega Master System home gaming console in mind.
Whoa.
While the game will absolutely be compatible with modern consoles and PC, players who want a true blast from the past will be able to experience it on a physical cartridge on the Sega Master System home console.
That's very cool.
That's really cool.
What?
That's very cool.
I got a huge kick out of that.
Also, yeah, Sam Claiborne off stage, his jaw has hit the floor. I cannot believe it. Also, but a little surprising to pick the Sega Master System as just the NES was.
Maybe that's what the Moldenhauers grew up with.
That must be what they.
For those that don't know, the Studio MDHR is a small development team headed by 2 brothers, Chad and Jared Moldenhauer. There's a great. I had the privilege of sitting down with them back in 2017 when the game was coming out. Their story is incredible. They had day jobs at a bank, and they had this dream to hand animate a game and make their own game. They quit their day jobs, they like mortgaged their houses, and it paid off for them, and now here they are as really recognized and decorated game developers. So I'm a big fan of that studio, and even though I'm a little bummed that apparently the wait for Cuphead 2 is going to be pretty long, it sounds like, or even longer, this Mighty Cuphead Adventure as a Mario homage styled in the 8-bit sounds really cool, and I'm looking forward to playing that much sooner.
So they are a small team, but wasn't Cuphead one of those games, kind of like Shovel Knight, where they kept working on it for a long time after release?
Well, there were what, two expansions, I believe,
okay.
two chunks of DLC. Of course, they did the Netflix show, which both my daughter and I love.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
Yeah, there were, I think, 2 seasons of it, I believe. Three, thank you.
Oh, wow.
So it's not like they've been doing, I'm not trying to accuse them of them not working, because they've clearly been busy. I am surprised that they're saying in 9 years later that they're still in the earliest stages of development on the next hand-animated game. But Mighty Cuphead Adventure, that'll be, at least, we've got that to look forward to sooner.
Once upon a time, Cuphead was an Xbox exclusive?
Yes, it's on everything now, and I'm sure the sequel
everything
probably will be. But yeah, it did debut as an Xbox One exclusive.
Yeah, wow, cool. Okay, let's talk about Resident Evil Veronica. Everyone was expecting this remake of Code Veronica. What do you make of, Max, what do you make of dropping the code? No code. Codeless Veronica.
I think it's cool. It helps differentiate it. The fact that they emphasize the REV, I feel like this isn't obviously a Resident Evil 5 remake, but I think they're the last remake was 4. I think they're sort of alluding to that almost. But I know basically nothing about Code Veronica. I'm very late to the Resident Evil party, but that's great because it means I'm going to get scared senseless. Is it going to be first and third person, you think?
That's what I was seeing. We got introduced here as a cinematic,
But do they show third-person gamelay? I don't think we saw that.
I would expect third-person gameplay. That's what I would expect. I mean, that's what they just did with Requiem. They introduced third-person and first-person.
Right.
Now we gotta wait again to see if they did third-person. But this looked incredible. I'm so excited to see a remake that includes that first-person because I personally love to be immersed in horror games, but I also like the third-person aspect too, to get a little bit of action as well.
But it's tricky, though. Requiem was the only one where they've bounced back and forth.
Yes.
No, they patched it to 8. You can play 8 entirely in third, which was kind of a weird afterthought to do that.
Yeah,
but,
that's true. But man, I can't believe it. Like Capcom, we were saying this in our pre-show, they've released 2 great games this year already. They have Onimusha coming. And they're already ready to show us the next Resident Evil game. Like they've got their whole their system, their development pipeline. They figured it out.
On a roll.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got their RE engine. That's clearly their tool set. Their pipeline must be just humming along, and I guess they're going kind of remake original game. So maybe if they are going to remake Resident Evil 5, we're going to have to wait till after Resident Evil 10, right?
That's okay. 5 is not the highlight, in my opinion. Okay, so we knew ahead of time we were going to see this game, Blood Message, from a new studio, narrative, action game. Miranda, what did you think about the footage we finally saw of Blood Message?
It looked really good. I think when we look at all of the action games coming out right now, you kind of try to see hey, what's the kind of identity here? And I think with Blood Message, they did such a great job of emphasizing the drama here. This is a longer story. This is a story about a father and son, as they said, kind of making the way. I was like, oh, the road? No. This is war. They've lost their home. They're trying to maybe get vengeance on some things, but also just try to make the way together. I'm also really interested because this takes place in China, and we're going back, in a historical period that obviously had a lot going on. As United States student, it's not like I got to learn that much about it, so I think these games that we're getting that kind of let us explore historical fiction this way is so much fun. I kind of felt that too with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I kind of had potential similar combat vibes from that, and where it seemed really heavy, it could be heavy and intentional in that same way, whereas though Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was kind of goofy and fun, this one is brutal.
Goofy
it is
and fun.
intense. Yeah, this is not goofy and fun. This is drama of war and of like what home is and your people and being attacked. And I think, I mean, you know, we get a little bit of that in Kingdom Come Deliverance too, but this is, I think, just such another cool look at a period of time that maybe not a lot of us know about and get to explore it through fantasy.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how much of like the moment-to-moment gameplay is within a large-scale battle, as opposed to smaller conflicts. Max, what did you think about Blood Message?
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much going on. I'm extremely curious about it. It looks gorgeous. I want to play it, but I also have no idea what. I mean, there's the messenger has got a message, and there's blood. Like there's obviously a lot at stake, but I feel like the elevator pitch hasn't really been delivered super succinctly. So I don't know. I'm a lot of combat. Cinematic presentation. Stupid thing to say. I kind of want some puzzles in here. I don't know.
Like some puzzles in there.
Oh, that'd be great.
It's got clearly some like Naughty Dog DNA, but do I get to push a crate around at some point? We'll find out.
You mentioned that it felt overwhelming to you, and I felt that anxiety while watching this, but I think it felt intentional the way you are meant to feel like when you're in this war. I love when I saw part of what seemed to be gameplay, the camera switches. It feels almost like you're watching a movie while you're watching this, at least. I'm not sure which part is gameplay, which part is the cinematic, and what connects to what. I thought I'm a sucker for story games that are highly emotional and roller coaster-like, but I think I agree with you in that maybe we do need a little bit of downtime and not always be at war. So I'm excited to learn more about these characters.
Yeah. All right, that's Blood Message. Now, one of the biggest WTF moments of the show, I think all of us exclaimed when we saw this during Stranger Than Heaven, which I believe is a period piece Yakuza game, and Tupac emerges from the shadows.
Yep.
Max, what was your reaction to Tupac?
I like that they asked Snoop why that happened, and he was like, "It just made sense."
Yeah, he
didn't
have much of an answer.
Not the word choice I would have gone with, but sure, whatever, why not? This is sort of a Yakuza game. Like, it's apparently going to explore the origins of the Tojo clan, which is in the Yakuza universe, but it's effectively a whole new thing. It's got a whole new combat system, and it's a periods piece. It jumps between different time frames, following this one character who's I think he's raised in America and then moves back to Japan. I'm curious. The thing that I was shocked about is I was way more interested in Virtua Fighter, which is from the same studio. I don't know. Like, I feel like the organized crime side of it all. Like, I've played a lot of Yakuza games. I'll give Stranger Than Heaven a shot. But like Virtua Fighter Crossroads, this has historically been a conventional fighting game, and this looks extremely narrative focused, very story based. Just a lot happening there, and I don't know. Like I like the idea of the Like a Dragon series has always been very basically a cinematic beat 'em up with RPG elements. What does that look like if you apply that sensibility to a fighting game? It's a fighting game with a more fleshed out narrative, more of a campaign to it. That's kind of cool. I don't know when that's coming out, but we've got Stranger Than Heaven in the meantime. But yeah, this is like, I don't know Virtua Fighter super well aside from like playing it in arcades in Yakuza, which you can do. So this, I imagine they're kind of trying to get some attention and eyes on this as effectively a new, I don't know if it's a reboot or a very long-awaited sequel, but I think they're approaching this as it's effectively a new game. And they make some good-looking food in those games.
I mean, everything in this game looks pretty good. I don't think they need to call it Virtua Fighter anymore, though. Because that's from, it was like the first 3D fighting game it was polygonal in the arcades, and it makes you think of virtual reality. I don't think it really applies to the series anymore.
Yeah, they're trying to reboot these, and I will say, I feel bad. I was a little disappointed when Keely was like, we talked about Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio, and I was like, Jet Set Radio, let's go! And then it's like, but here's Virtua Fighter. I was like, oh, what about Jet Set Radio?
I want to call something out, Xbox friends.
Okay.
They've talked about how they're doing a new Crazy Taxi. They've talked about how they're doing a new Jet Set Radio. The last Crazy Taxi was Crazy Taxi 3, released in 2002 on the original Xbox. The last Jet Set Radio was Jet Set Radio Future, released on the original Xbox in 2002. There's an Xbox conference this weekend.
That's what I'm hoping for. Yep.
Just throwing that one out there. It would make sense to put it there because that's the last place we saw those games.
Yes. Yes, please.
We'll find out on Sunday. But I need more reactions on this. Ryan, Tupac, what's happening?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just like he seems completely out of nowhere, and I want to know, was this a creative decision?
I mean, casting Snoop Dogg seems kind of out of nowhere for this game too.
But Snoop isn't in it also, is he?
He is.
Yeah, I saw.
it?
Yeah,
So-
I almost said.
Okay,
is that
I didn't
Snoop?
know that.
Yeah, no, so there was about a month or so ago. What is time anymore? There was a Stranger Than Heaven showcase put on by Xbox that I watched along with the Unlock crew, and it honestly, it completely, not that I was skeptical before, but it really just totally got me excited to play this game because I enjoy Like a Dragon. I've played bits of a couple of them. But what I like about Stranger Than Heaven is what it's attempting to do narratively, and that's tell this story about these sort of two guys across multiple decades. And so if it can pull that off, and you get to experience like all these different periods of time, that's going to be just a phenomenally memorable experience. And we know that this studio is really capable of delivering on the story front and on the character front. The Tupac thing makes no sense, but I guess we'll just wait and see.
It's hard to see people who are obviously quite influential be added to properties after they've passed, and it's like obviously there was
reverse star power where it's like you can't, that's Tom Cruise no matter how you cut it. Like it's Tupac. It's an odd choice. My one sort of hope there is that I think that RGG is well aware they have a lot of fans outside of Japan, and I think they've been kind of courting a Western audience. We had George Takei in Like a Dragon, and he was a part of that. He was a very crucial character's English dub, and they brought him out to do lots of promotion for that. And then they had Danny Trejo for Infinite Wealth, and he wound up not being that big of a part there. Like it was kind of just, I think they brought him out to be like, look everybody, it's Danny Trejo. And I was like, oh, is he gonna be the main villain? And he wasn't really. So like, with all due respect to Snoop Dogg, I hope it's a similar deal where he's in there, but he's not like a main crucial component.
Yeah, it seems also, again, to the point of everybody here, like this is set between different periods, right? So some of the people we see in the beginning aren't necessarily going to carry through the rest of the game. And we know Snoop's character is really pivotal to the very beginning of these two protagonists' journeys, or I guess protagonist and friend.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, well, I like the Like a Dragon games. The game looks cool. I'm a little. I want to know how that came together to get Tupac into the game.
Yeah, there's more to that story, and I want to hear it.
We mentioned this new game Hex, Assassin's Creed Hex, somewhere on the horizon. This new game Hex announced today. This is a multiplayer, first-person survival shooter set in an alien wilderness, engulfed by a mysterious paranormal mist. Aliak, what did you think of Hex?
It kind of reminded me of like that feeling when you team up with friends and you go on raids. I just thought of Destiny 3 for some reason while I was watching it, and I thought that's pretty cool.
Like I totally did too. I get that.
Yeah, so it made me want to be like, okay, I enjoy raids. I like Destiny. I think this would be something that I would like to do. I'm really curious about what this whole language is and this gigantic wall. What really is that? What are we really fighting? It looks like we got some gear and there's some monsters. So we're going to be surviving against some monsters here. But I'm interested in the co-op or like the playability with friends and how many times can you go on these runs. What are you surviving?
Yeah. Miranda, I know you struggle with horror, but what about cooperative horror?
No, this is fun. I have a gun. I have the gun,
okay.
so they'll be scared of me.
Let's team up.
Yeah, let's play. So it's from people who worked on Little Nightmares and on The Division. And you can see a lot of the Little Nightmares vibe from it too, and like some of the architecture and the enemies, and I think the language of these beings as well. Like you can just kind of tell that they had like a hand in developing this, and their horror I feel is really approachable. I think those games, at least like the first two that I would assume these people worked on, but we're not too sure exactly who. But they are like tense, but not Not like I'm crying at night after I've turned off the game, you know? So it's like still, I think, a approachable, fun kind of horror. And this one in particular looks like it could be pretty cool.
And the 3-player thing, too.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
These guys seem to be stuck on that. Yeah, another bit from the press release. Hex follows players tracking down missing members of their science expedition after waking from a helicopter crash. So, yeah, it seems, I was intrigued by this one. I said at the top, I made a list of 7 games that jumped out at me the most, and this was on it. I think this looks really cool.
Cool premise. All right, we need to take a very quick break, but stick around because our Summer Games Fest post-show continues after this.
IGN Summer of Gaming is presented by Fanta. Special Edition Fanta and Xbox 25 cans are available now only for a limited.
Welcome back to IGN's post-show for Summer Game Fest. We're winding down the show today, so let's get everyone's thoughts on Summer Game Fest as a whole. Games of the show. Ryan, let's start with you.
Oh, all right. I'm going to go with Crossfire. I haven't had a chance to mention it yet on the post-show, but a lot of talent involved in this game. A lot of Southern California, where we are now, the sort of Santa Monica development scene. And it's a single player. There's stealth elements to it. The tech looks great. And it's definitely like narrative focused, character driven. So I am really intrigued to see more from this new development team. That's No Moon, and hopefully this is going to end up being as cool as it looks, because it's definitely got I love the potential that's on display here. So I'm a sucker for good stealth and mix in a good story and some fun action, and yeah, this could be really great.
And they have some kind of new tech they're using for their cover system. I forget what they call it, like some adaptive cover or something like that, where they're clinging to walls for a new level of realism and stealth crouching. So that looks really cool. I will say Crossfire is I think there have been a lot of games called Crossfire over the years.
Yeah.
That's true. It is not a great name. Max, you were pointing out while we were talking earlier.
Yeah, so Crossfire is a massively successful PC free-to-play shooter that's been around since like 2007. It's huge in Asia. They got a lot of money, as you can see. The last time they tried to do something like this was a few years back. They had Remedy do Crossfire X, which was basically trying to do like, we've got the multiplayer mode, we're trying to get the console audience, we also want the narrative thing. That was very poorly received.
Yeah, it was Remedy's only bad game, really.
And I guess they're doing it once more with feeling, and it looks really, really cool. I'm kind of getting Spec Ops: The Line vibe from this.
Yeah.
If the story's as good as that game, that'd be phenomenal.
I mean,
specifically because like when Spec Ops: The Line came along, Spec Ops was this like shooter franchise. People are like, I haven't had one of those in a while. What are they doing here? And it wound up being this like really heavy-hitting, extremely intense, narrative-focused experience. This seems like they're kind of trying to do a similar thing where, it's got its roots in, military shooter stuff, but it's also, again, cribbing a bit from Naughty Dog because it's got a bunch of ex-Naughty Dog devs working on it.
Yeah, you've got that drama between the two protagonists who like obviously are polar opposites in a lot of ways, but they're like forced to work together, and that can tend to be pretty interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I love the unique story that they brought together for this. That was my main draw for it, too.
All right, Miranda, what was your favorite game on show?
All right, I always feel bad picking something from the end because I'm like, it's the bias of like the time, but no. It was Stellar Blade Blood Rain. Like that looked so cool. I am like a sucker for anything cyberpunk. I really like Stellar Blade. A lot of my team, the guide team, shout out, love y'all. We love Stellar Blade, and this one just looked fantastic. At first we were like, is this? It looks like it, but also it looks so different and so detailed and gorgeous. Obviously, we don't know a ton about it yet, other than it's the next Stellar Blade, and it is a continuation of the story, kind of, but also mostly just set in the same world and kind of picking up some events from the last game. So if you haven't played the first, do it and use IGN guides. Thank you. But also, the thing here that I really liked was just the good banter early on, just like the vibe of this world. Again, like I said, I'm such a cyberpunk fan, and this isn't exactly that one-to-one, but it has that kind of dirty future vibe where you're doing what you need to survive. Of course, she's covering up her like fantastic white suit here, and she's trying to blending in. But as you continue through this trailer, it just was awesome, and I cannot wait to play this.
Yeah, I liked Stellar Blade. I was surprised by how much I liked Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
So it's very cool to know the sequel's coming.
Yeah.
All right, Aliak, your game of the show.
Oh man, do I have to say it again? Code Veronica. I mean, Resident Evil. The show started so strong for me. Like, as soon as I saw, I will say I didn't know it was Resident Evil at first. I thought it was OD. When we saw the knock on the door, I was like, oh, but visually it didn't hit the same as the teaser we had seen before, but that knock scared me a little bit. I just feel like this game it is a remake, but it's not going to feel like a remake. It's going to feel like a completely new game. And I'm just excited to be able to experience it for the first time myself and be able to fill in the blanks of all the Resident Evils I haven't played. And this is a game that a lot of people have been waiting for so many years to be remade, and honestly, one of the most deserving ones.
Yeah, I'm super stoked for this. Requiem was incredible. Capcom, they just don't miss these days, so I can't wait for that one. Max, game of the show.
I don't know if it's game of the show, but it's the one that definitely got me paying attention, and that's The Last Ronin, which was a game we thought was dead. This was the Ninja Turtles game. If you're unfamiliar, The Last Ronin is basically The Dark Knight Returns with Ninja Turtles. It's in a...
Go on.
It's a, I mean, you know, they've been cribbing from Frank Miller since day one, so then they kind of went full circle. So it's set in a depressing future where everything's kind of beaten up, and it's basically, you know, Shredder 1 or whatever. And there's only one turtle left.
Yeah.
And so he's got to go and avenge his brothers, which makes for a great setting mechanically because, again, like every Ninja Turtle game to date, they've had to make 4 playable characters at least. And in this case, it's like I feel like you can almost do a God of War style thing where you're just swapping between different weapon types and different fighting styles. And the fact that it's been kicked over to Platinum is very promising. I forget who was working. I mean, Embracer had someone working on it before. But Platinum that's a studio.
They crushed Ninja Gaiden 4 last year.
They know how to make a game about some ninjas, you know, and some crazy over-the-top action. And it's also, again, I think adapting a AAA video game from a comic, there's some wiggle room there. Like they can make some stylistic choices. They can get weird with it. They can shake the aesthetic up. And I don't know, cowabunga.
That one looks great. I'm really excited for that. All right, that just about wraps up our summer Game Fest coverage here on IGN. If you missed any of the news or game trailers out of the show, be sure to check IGN.com and IGN's YouTube page. Catch up on it all. And while this may be the end of one live show here at IGN, tomorrow kicks off IGN Live, our biggest live show of the year. We'd love if you tuned in, or even better, came to the show, party with us. Head to IGN.com/live and get your single day or weekend tickets. If you can't make it, no worries, because we'll be live streaming the show all weekend long on IGN and YouTube. Until then, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
IGN Summer of Gaming is presented by our official retail partner, Best Buy.